The growth of an economy is at times judged by the entrenchment of its financial services, like insurance and banking. Today, Uganda still has some good ground to cover in growing the penetration of the insurance industry or service. Now, we look at the effort that's being done by different players to grow this penetration, but then also why this is important. Richard, it's nice to have you on the show, Money and Markets. Well, the year is coming to an end. 2018 is really just weeks, to come to an end. How has the insurance industry fared this year?
From where I sit, it's been a tough year, but the industry has also thrown in a couple of punches, if I should use that word, and there have been good moments. The business across the industry has, we presume and we anticipate will grow. Of course, poultry of about, say 15%, and though we believe the number of opportunities out there that we could have got on board. We've had a major challenge, though, as an industry, where we have premiums, where premiums are not paid on time, which in a way also has affected the insurance players.
Well, I know the year has not only been tough for you. There are many Ugandans today who will tell you that, man, things this year have been quite tough. So how does the insurance industry come in, to offload some of those challenges that the business community and the average Ugandan is facing? Where do you come in? Where do you help?
That is an interesting one and a good one. One, for the life companies, they have various policies in place, among others, short-term policies, those that mature. We have the education plan policies. We also do have the life policies that mature after 5, 10 years, and there are those that someone could take out that would be redeemed in the event they pass on, or in the event they have an accident, or they have critical illness, or in any catastrophic illness that comes, as you know, uninvited. No one prepares for that. Well, how do these savings policies help? They are policies that could be taken out, and they have a component that has both the savings and also the life insurance, in that at the maturity of the term, as I said earlier, 5 or 10 years, this person can get that saving out with a good interest. However, and that notwithstanding, what is most important is that these savings policies provide this person the comfort that in the event, say they pass on out of natural causes, their family or their estate will be covered.
What are those areas that drove growth in 2018?
This year it's been a mix of factors, but among others, as I mentioned earlier, we got in the banks. The banks are now licensed, so there's bank assurance. So there's a bit of growth. Why? Because see the penetration, because insurance is also financial services. The banks have wider coverage compared to the insurers. Secondly, truth be told, banks are more trusted than the insurance players in a way. So that conversation is easier with the bank to the clients out there. So there's a bit of growth from that. But what is also important is we have a much more vibrant middle class, which is growing, meaning we have more people are getting to school. Insurance predominantly has been looked at as a subject which is complex. So the confidence of the masses is improving, but there's a lot that can be done.
Now, I'll ask you this as an expert. If you to advise a Ugandan who wants to buy insurance, how should they determine the kind of insurance they need?
All right, that's a good one. Now, for starters, before you take out any policy, you have to have the knowledge of your risk profile. Now, how do you know your risk profile? For example, if you're a small owner of a business or even an individual, as I said, risk is part of life and everybody needs insurance. Now, to get a solution, and I'll use the word solution, not product, a solution, why? Because as I said earlier, insurers sell promises. In exchange for a premium, I'll guarantee I pay once a loss occurs. So to get a right solution, you have to, first of all, understand what your risk profile is. What am I into? What business do I do? Or what do I do as a vocation, a job? What do I do for a living? Then within that, the insurance professionals will look at that space and then will be able to advise. For example, I know my employer, Britam, would always want to design a solution that is tailor-made to the client needs. I will ask a couple of questions. What do you do for a living? Do you own a car? Do you have a small business? Do you own a property, or are you running a mortgage? So those basic questions will enable me profile you so that I can give you a proposal that is relevant.
On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for having me.